Well, Collective Works is a collaborative workspace. It's similar to a source office, except we designed it for entrepreneurs. I attended a talk by one of the business equity partners in Singapore, and I thought it was really interesting that somebody had systemized the process of valuing a small business, something that's normally a very abstract, kind of touchy-feely kind of idea, but they'd really kind of got it down to a very simple system that even somebody without an accounting background could run. So one of my favorite parts of the system was actually the benchmarking. So when you start a valuation, you tell them the kind of business that you run, and because Biz Equity has valued millions of other companies, it's then able to tell you how you stack up and then which areas you're exceeding sort of industry average and which areas that you're lagging and potentially need attention. And that was useful for us on both angles. It was great to see where we were high performing, and it was great to see where we could improve. Another aspect I really enjoy is once you've completed evaluation, you're presented with sort of a summary page, and you can just sort of tweak the figures around as you like. You can say, well, what if we were a little bit more profitable, what would that do? What if our revenue increased, what would that do? What if we reduced our debt commitments in certain areas, what would that do? And to me, it really demystified the valuation process of a business and also helped me to understand what was important in terms of business performance and business valuation. So my experience at Biz Equity was it gave me an outsider's perspective on my company, somebody who would come in, no emotional attachment to the business, and just look at it, look at the nuts and bolts, look at the numbers, and understand the value from that perspective. And I think it's really important to have both. I think Biz Equity gives you an option to step outside yourself and take an external perspective on what you're doing. And that can be very difficult to do when you're in the trenches day to day. But it's very important to do for the strategic oversight for the business and actually informing business direction and business growth. I think what Biz Equity has done is it's codified the process of valuing a business. And by doing that, it's set up a framework, and it's giving you the parameters, and it's giving you the goalposts. It's said, between here and here is useful. If you're working outside of these parameters, your effort is misdirected. You're not adding value to your business. I think that's really interesting. I think you can make some extrapolating from the software and extrapolating from what the rest of your industry are doing. You're able to make some judgment calls. Running a business is quite an isolating activity. You don't generally sit down with other business owners and discuss intimate financial information. But at the same time, when the data is presented to you in aggregate and you're able to draw conclusions from that, that's really useful. You're able to do some industry benchmarking. You're able to understand how you sit against your competition and potentially how you could surpass them. One of the things we learned in Biz Equity is we're below average in our debt to earnings ratio because we have very, very low debt commitments in our business. So I think it was interesting for me to understand as a business owner that we could comfortably take on more debt for expansion should we wish to, because we were already behind the industry average in that respect.